I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:01. Can I have a moment of silence, please? Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Kenny.
Here.
Miss Eileen Blystein.
Here.
Miss Kate Blystein.
Here.
Mr. Bromhall.
Here.
Ms. Falconero.
Here.
Ms. Iacone.
Here.
Mr. Meeker.
Here.
Mrs. Trompe.
Here.
Ms. Fitzwater here. Statement is hereby made that adequate notice of this meeting was given by submission of said notice to the Burlington County Times, the Courier Post, the Cinnaminson Township Clerk, and the district website on the following dates: January 8th, 2025. We're moving on to Section 4, routine business. We have the Board Secretary's report for August of 25, the receipts and appropriation adjustments for August of 25, the Treasurer's report for August of 25, the monthly transfer report for August of 25, the high school activities report for September of 25, this food service management cost performance statement for September of 25, the certified bill list as of October of 2025, the approval of minutes, the executive session 1 from September 25th, executive session 2 from September 25th, and the regular meeting of September 25th. Mr. Kenny, can I have a motion to approve Section 4, routine business items A through H?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye for all and no for executive session 1, meeting minutes.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 5, routine matters. We have the enrollment report as of October 10th, 2025, the health report for September of 25, the fire alarm report for September of 25, the crisis drill report for September of 25, the superintendent's monthly report. Mr. Capello.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Thank you, members of the audience, for being here with us this evening. And of course, thank you to anyone who is watching our live stream at home. October is a great month in education. I've always called it the month of weeks because there are a number of weeks that we recognize and celebrate in the month of October, starting with the Week of Respect, which took place from October 6th through the 10th, and it is designated the Week of Respect throughout the state of New Jersey. And there were various themes at our elementary schools to celebrate and recognize that very important Week of Respect. Last week was also Fire Prevention Week at New Albany and Rush Schools. Thank you to the Cinnaminson Fire Department for coming out and the excellent fire prevention and safety presentation that they do. And earlier today, Mrs. Spear and I were treated to some friends from the Cinnaminson Fire Department who brought one of their engines, did they call it? This was an engine they brought out to the students in our pre-K program, both here and at our satellite site at Temple Sinai. And as you can imagine, our little 3- and 4-year-olds were quite riveted. And thank you to our friends for being such good partners at the Cinnaminson Fire Department. Later this month, we can look forward to Red Ribbon Week, and we also celebrate Spirit Week at the high school in the month of October, and I have a feeling we're going to hear a little bit more about that later from our high school liaison. A couple of calendar events for the board. We're very much looking forward to the annual Water Festival at Palmyra Cove, which will take place later this week. Always a fun time, and the weather looks like it's going to hold out for a Friday. New Albany School is hosting a literacy night tomorrow night, which we are looking forward to, with the book fair as well. And of course, on October 31st, we celebrate the annual Halloween parades, which are always very, very well attended at Memorial, New Albany, and the Rush Schools. And when I'm preparing my reports every month, I typically look back to last year and see what was happening this time of year last year. And I had a note in my report last year about the Phillies. I will skip that this evening. But I do want to offer congratulations to a couple of high school teachers, Mr. Keith Keston and Megan Schweitzer, who completed the Chicago Marathon this weekend in Cinnaminson garb. So thank you to them and congratulations to them. Quite an accomplishment. Definitely worthy of a round of applause. And with that, Mrs. Fitzwater, that is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Mr. Bromhall, can I have a motion to approve Section 5, routine matters, items A through E?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Comments or questions from the board?
Actually, I have a question for the enrollment report. This just goes this month, and is there any way that we can include in the report maybe a couple months prior so we can see the trend of enrollment? As a board, I know, unless we have to go back and keep looking at it every month, it would be nice to so that we could see the trend. So maybe 3 months in the report, I think that would be a good idea for the board to be able to see that.
Thank you, Mrs. Blystein. I will speak with our data person and see how best we could facilitate that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Ms. Falconero?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 6, the student representative reports. From the high school, we have Carly Trompe.
Good evening. The students of the month for September are as follows. The class of 2026 is Cooper Bonsteel, class of 2027 is Ella Raymond, class of 2028 is Ali Senol, and the class of 2029 is Natalie Diamond. The athletes of the month for September are as followed. Dylan Plotnecki for men's soccer. Dylan leads the team with 5 goals and 2 assists so far this season, and he has had the game-winning 2 of those 5 goals. Emily Craney for women's soccer. Emily is a great player who can do it all on the soccer field. She has been a huge part of the team's successes so far. Emily has scored or assisted in 6 or 7 of the games so far this season, totaling 4 goals and 3 assists through the games. She shares so many roles on the field as a versatile player, filling in as needed anywhere on the field. The fall sports teams are continuing their season. The football team's record is 3-4, and their next game is the homecoming game on Friday night at home versus Morristown. The men's soccer team record is 8-4, and they played at Northern Burlington this afternoon, and their next game will be on Saturday. The women's soccer record is 10-2, and they played Northern Burlington this afternoon and Cherry Hill East tomorrow. Field hockey's record is 8-5, and they played at Haddon Heights this afternoon. The women's tennis team, their senior night and breast cancer awareness game was on Wednesday, October 9th, and their team record is 7-7. The men's cross-country team's record is 1-0, as well as the women's cross-country team. The women's volleyball team record is 9-9, and their next game is tomorrow versus Pennsauken. For Play Unified, the soccer is off to a fantastic start, remaining undefeated so far. There are more players and there are more players, and the enthusiasm is off the chart. Players are seeing incredible support from staff, families, and the girls and boys soccer team, and the cheerleaders creating an inclusive atmosphere for everyone. For Unified Club, we like to congratulate the 2025 to 2026 Unity Club officers. The presidents are Kiara Gallagher and Sarah Del Grippo. The vice presidents are Grace Morris and Sierra Morris. The social media ambassadors are Rebecca Peterson and Reza Dutra Almeida. And the secretaries are Olivia Gola and Gabby DeMeo. The Spanish Club, congratulations to our 2025-2026 Spanish Club officers. The presidents are Ryan Wyke. Vice president is Dylan Burke. The social media ambassador is Ava Smith, and the secretary is Holly Kirstein. Plans are underway for an exciting field trip this year and for celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month at our October 24th meeting. It's Mid-Spirit Week at CHS, and the theme is now streaming for homecoming. The seniors have chosen Disney+, the juniors have Netflix, the sophomores have Peacock, and the freshmen have Paramount+. The pep rally is on Friday, and the homecoming dance is on Saturday in the commitment gym from 7 to 10 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly. Now we'll hear from the middle school representative, Matthew Kenny.
Thank you and good evening to all of you guys. The Student of the Month core value for September was perseverance, and the Student of the Months for September are 6th grader Jimmy Colpston, 7th grader Emmy Davies, and 8th grader Courtney Lamont. Our faculty member of the month for October is Miss Pallett. Congratulations to all of you. During the first week of October, our middle school students participated in a week of respect, a week full of activities geared towards building character and preventing bullying. Students completed an activity highlighting important themes such as the power of individual actions, hope, optimism, responsibility, and compassion. Last Monday, our 6th graders enjoyed a trip to the Pin Setter Bowling Alley, and they had a blast. This coming Friday is our harvest dance for 7th and 8th graders only. It will be held at CMS from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Permission slips and money are due Thursday. Fall sports are continuing, and the student athletes are having a fun, successful season so far. The girls' A field hockey team is 1, 4, and 3, while the B team is 1 and 5. The boys' A soccer team is 4, 2, and 1, while the boys' B team is 2 and 4. The girls' A soccer team is 6 and 2, and the girls' B soccer team is 4, 1, and 1. Their cross-country team is also doing well and has a combined of 48 and 10 record. Overall, all fall sports teams are doing amazing and working hard to improve each week. Next Monday, our 6 elected student council representatives will participate in Youth and Government Day. During the day, students will visit the Cinnaminson Municipal Building. The day, students will Police Department. They will take a tour and learn about the functions and roles of each department in the municipal building. The students will then run the township meeting at 6:30 p.m. on Monday night. Red Ribbon Week will be held October 27th to October 31st. We will once again be holding our Take a Veteran to School Day celebration on Monday, November 10th. CMS students will be encouraged to invite family members or friends who is a veteran or an active member of the military. We will hold a breakfast in the cafeteria for our guests, followed by Veterans Recognition Program, which will include speeches, musical performances, and gun salutes by visiting VFW members. Information about the event will be sent home last week. The Shock Club is holding its Socks for Shock donation. They will be collecting donations of new socks for the senior centers of Cinnaminson. The sock drive will run until October 31st, and the collection box will be outside the main office at CMS. We thank you in advance for your kindness and support. This concludes my report. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you, Matthew. We're going to move on to presentations. We have one presentation tonight. Mr. Capello?
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. 1 second, relocate. So for our regulars who come to the board meetings, you know that oftentimes the board accepts a donation on behalf of members of the community who would like to donate something to the school board, to the school district, to the students, and it can come in various forms. And I'm a firm believer in the adage that it takes a village to raise a child, and having 4 kids of my own and being a marching band parent and marching band dad, I can say that definitely applies to the performance unit, the marching band. It definitely takes a village to put a marching band on the field. And every little bit of parent support helps, and I see we have a couple band parents here in the audience. Last month, we were very fortunate, the marching band was, to receive an extremely generous donation from a family in town, great supporters of the marching band, and a local business. And with that, I'd ask the Riveras, if you wouldn't mind, please come and join me up here. When our marching band travels, they got a lot of stuff. They travel heavy, from equipment to instruments, the materials for our guard. And while the band is very well supported by the Board of Education and the district, they definitely had some needs in order to be competition ready for the season. And thanks to the generosity of the folks at Riggs Distler and the Rivera family, we were the proud recipients of this fantastic marching band trailer. With some of our graphics. I believe Alpha Graphics helped contribute to the graphics, so our branding is out there as they travel all up and down the New Jersey Turnpike and into Pennsylvania. And on behalf of the Board of Education, on behalf of the district, the marching band, the band parents, we want to say thank you publicly. And as a token of our appreciation, we have some certificates to bring back for you and to the kind folks at Riggs Distler. Now, I don't know how many people know Riggs Distler. Tell me if I'm wrong on this, but it is the largest union electrical, mechanical, and something else contractor in the United States, mechanical, electrical, and fabrication. They do a little bit of everything, but if you see their trucks around town, we are certainly indebted to all the wonderful business and support that we get from the wonderful businesses in our area, and Riggs Distler is a fine example of it. So thank you very much for your kind donation. If you don't mind, we'll pose for a quick picture here. Mr. Gorman, did I miss anything? All right, perfect. So, a couple here, if you don't mind. We'll take a picture that we can share Get it?
Okay. And again, on behalf of the board, thank you for your contribution. All right, moving on to Section 9, correspondence to the board. I was in receipt of a thank you for a condolence card that we had sent to the Evans family. Other than that, it was kind of a quiet month.
Oh, I have actually 3. I had a parent reach out from CPAG, not Edie. Someone else just saying if we ever wanted any information, I could contact that person, and they could go over special education and just help bring me up to par, up to speed. And they would be more than willing to meet with any board member regarding what they do as parent group. I also had someone reach out from the band and say that they have really old uniforms, and they are, I think, 10 years old, and it would be great if we could support them in getting them some newer uniforms. So I think that would be great.
Anyone else? All right, moving on to Section 9, committee reports. We had 2 committees meet this month. The Curriculum and Student Activities Committee met, and Mrs. Trompe will give us the minutes of that meeting.
Sure. The Curriculum and Student Activities Committee met on Monday, October 6th via Google Meet. The meeting began with a request from Mrs. DeSimone to pilot a middle school percussion drumline group this school year. The group will meet weekly after school and would have an end-of-year performance as a culminating activity. The middle school anticipates approximately 20 students participating, and there will be no stipend in the first year. The committee then reviewed the HIB grades that were submitted by each building. Each school has a committee that reviews the NJDOE rubric and determines scores for the 26 different indicators outlined in the rubric. The maximum score is a 78, and each school's grade is on tonight's agenda. Grades must be submitted to the NJDOE by the end of this month. The committee received a brief update on New Jersey's new assessment program. Routine requests for field trips and professional development were reviewed. The committee was informed of 3 new instructional material requests, 1 for AP Computer Science and 2 more for high school ML classes. And lastly, the committee has preliminary discussions on next year's school calendar. That's all.
Thanks, Mrs. Trompe.
Thank you.
We also had a policy committee meeting. Mr. Kenny, who is the chair of that, will give us the meeting.
Thank you, Mrs.
Minutes.
Fitzwater. The Policy and Legislation Committee met October 1st via Google Meet. The Board of Education's Policy Committee met to discuss the Strauss-Esme policies from the Policy Alert 235 as listed in the agenda. The committee discussed the recommendations made by Strauss-Esme and elected to adopt the recommendations as written. Additional discussion was given to Policy 5339.01. The committee also discussed Policy 0155 regarding board committees, and the review was at the recommendation of the full board. The committee then discussed the renewed commitment to conducting a cursory review of all policies to ensure current practices. This process began 2 years ago and will continue as a part of this year's Board of Education goal. They assigned policies to individual committee members for review who will check back in the future. Mr. Capella reviewed Bill S-2078, which was recently signed by Governor Murphy, and discussed the impact the bill will have on certain staff members related to their pensions. And the committee plans to continue the discussion via email to keep the progress moving ahead of the next policy committee meeting, which has not yet been scheduled. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Ms. Iacone, can I have a motion to approve Section 9 committee reports, item A?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Eileen Blystein?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 10, public comments on agenda items. Members of the public are reminded that the comments should be limited to items appearing on this meeting's agenda. There will be another opportunity during this meeting to comment on non-agenda items. All members of the public wishing to speak on agenda items only should raise their hand to indicate their wish to speak. When called upon, Participants should state their first and last name and address clearly for the record. In accordance with Cinnaminson Board of Education policy, comments will be limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person. The comment period will be limited to 30 minutes in duration. Anyone wish to speak?
Edie. I just have one ask. I saw a bunch of policies on here, bunch of revisions, still no red lines. Just cross-outs would be
If
great.
I may, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do appreciate you gave that feedback maybe a year or so ago. When we approve, we need to approve the final version of the policy. So I took your suggestion before, and unfortunately, with the printed out version, you're not going to have access to it. But when you look at Mr. Kenny's notes from the policy committee minutes, each one is linked there, and all of the policies have the red-lined strike-throughs and bold for new language. So under the minutes from the policy committee, which again, you'd have to access through the website because they are linked, it has the proposed changes as they came from the policy. You're looking for the strike-throughs, and there's no red lines, but they're
The strike-throughs, we call them
strike-throughs
red
are there, and
lines,
bold
but-
language represents the adopted changes. So in order to approve final versions of the policies, they're listed in the agenda as final versions, but those suggestions and strike-throughs can be found in that policy committee minutes.
Okay, so
that are
that's the
there.
first time committee minutes have actually been included, so I should have dug deeper. But just as a further suggestion, then, if you have to approve the final version, then maybe put those policies with the revisions just as the links for the public to review the month prior, and then the next month actually approve the final versions. So you have time to, there was quite a few of them to print out and go over. I didn't even realize they were hidden inside the committee minutes. So it might be a best practice to publish them, show the public what you're changing, and then the following month actually go to approve them so that people, if they have questions, they can show up and actually ask and have that time to do their due diligence. Just a suggestion.
I appreciate that.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on to Section 11, Personnel, Certified and Non-Certified. Mr. Capello?
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under Section 11, letter A, seeking the board to approve item 1 for certificated staff, letter A, and under number 2, non-certificated staff, letters A through K, they are listed in the agenda. Under letter B, transfers, there are 4 items for the board's consideration. Under letter B, numbers 1 through 4. Under resignations, retirements, we are seeking the board's approval for, and forgive me one second, my computer's a little slow. There are 4 items also listed under letter C, items 1 through 4 in the agenda. There are 5 items under letter D, leaves of absences. They are listed by employee number in the agenda for the board's approval. Skipping on to letter F, extra duty appointment, seeking the board to approve items 1 through 8 as listed in the agenda. Skipping down to mentor teachers, letter H, there are 2 names for consideration under number 1 for the board. They are listed in the agenda. Under letter I, student teachers, there are 2 items listed there in the agenda. And under letter J, 2 items for the board's consideration. Number 1, items A through C, and number 2, item A for the board's consideration under substitute teachers, non-certified, and volunteers. And then finally, under letter K, district tutors, seeking the board to approve numbers 1, 2, and 3. Those names are listed in the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Ms. Trompe, can I have a motion to approve Section 11, Personnel, Certified, Non-Certified items A through K?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Meeker. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Eileen Blystein?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion approved. Moving on to Section 12, Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Goldburn.
Thank you very much. Under 12, letter A, professional development, requesting approval of item number 1, monthly professional development request. Under letter B, the monthly field trip requests. Under letter C, number 1, letters A, B, and C for new instructional materials. Nothing under letter D this month. Under letter E, the approval on first reading of the HIB investigations. Under letter F, the monthly suspension report. Under letter G, the submission of the preliminary HIB grades for each of the schools for the previous school year. And under letter H, requesting approval of a pilot of a percussion drumline group at the middle school for this school year. And those are the items this month, Mrs. Fitzwater.
Thank you, Dr. Goldburn. Ms. Kate Blystein, can I have a motion to approve Section 12, Curriculum and Instruction, items A through H?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Falconero. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Eileen Blystein?
Aye.
Abstain from 12A, line 12, and then aye on the rest.
Go back to me, sorry. I'm
Yep.
abstaining also 12A, line 1, number 10.
Also abstaining 12A, line 7, and aye for everything else.
Aye to all, except for I abstain from item 12A, line 6.
Aye to all, except I abstain from 12A, line 5.
Aye to all, except I abstained from item 12A, line 11.
Aye to all, except I abstain from 12A, line 9.
Aye to all, except I abstain from 12A, line 8.
And aye to all, except I abstain from line A, from item A, line 4.
Explain why we
I will. The reason for that, for all of that noise, is because we, the professional development that we actually, as a board, are going to have is going to the NJSBA convention next week, and so we have to abstain whenever anything applies to us individually. And so that's what that abstinence was from.
Good
Okay,
explanation.
so, motion approved. Moving on to Section 12, Special Education. Mr. Capella?
Yes, thank you. There are two items for the board's consideration under special education. Letter A, contracts, seeking the board to ratify an affirmative agreement with the Burlington County ESU. And under letter B, seeking the board to ratify and affirm a tuition contract agreement with Burlington County Special Services. Those two items are listed in the agenda, and nothing under letter C.
Thank you, Mr. Capella. Mr. Meeker, can I have a motion to approve Section 13, Special Education, items A and B?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Iacone. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion approved. Moving on to Section 14, Policy. Mr. Capella?
Thank you again, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under Section 14, Policy, Letter A, Policies and Regulations, seeking the board to approve the list of policies. As mentioned by Mr. Kenny earlier, they are listed in the agenda for approval this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Falconero, can I have a motion to approve Section 14, Policies, item A?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trempe. Comments or questions from the board?
I have a comment regarding the policy, it's 0177. It's actually a bylaw, and I just wanted, I have some concerns about why we're changing that. I was reading over it, and there's some changes in this where the board establishes, it goes from a dollar limit that they're annually to approve in the budget, and the change in the words is from the original, which is, it does have the line, I appreciate having the red line through it. The Board of Education will establish annually, prior to budget preparation, maximum dollar limit for each type of professional service. In the event, let me put my glasses on, sorry. This will slow down, this will speed it up. Okay. In the event it becomes necessary to exceed the established maximum dollar limit for the professional services, the superintendent of schools shall recommend to the Board of Education an increase in the maximum dollar amount. Any increase in the maximum dollar amount shall require formal board action. So that wording is taken out, and the new wording is put in, and basically the same. It says, upon such notification, the board may adopt a dollar increase in the maximum annual amount through a formal board action. So my concern, I guess, is the wording when you say it shall or it may. So shall means it must, and may means you don't have to. It's up to us. And so that's a concern. I know this is, I think we should always require formal board action when we're talking about money, the taxpayer dollars. And so another change were the words, it used to say, contracts for legal services will be issued by the board in deliberative, efficient manner. And that wording is taken out. So it no longer says legal services, it says professional services, and it does that twice in here. It says This may include, but is not limited to, issuance of such contracts through the request for proposals, the RFP, based on the cost and other specified factors or other comparable processes, and professional service contracts, where it used to say contracts for legal services. So I was kind of just unsure why we're changing it from legal services to professional services. Is there any way we can find out why we're doing that?
I have a comment. So on paragraph 2 that you're referencing regarding the maximum dollar amount, it specifies that the board shall establish a maximum dollar amount. So the board is establishing the maximum dollar amount, and then it goes on to say that the board may adopt a dollar increase in the maximum. So in both actions, it's board approval.
Right, I get
Right.
that. Okay. So what's the change for the legal services? I mean, you didn't make the changes, right? This is from,
So this is from Strauss
Strauss
Esme. It
Esme.
comes from our policy guide, so the
Right.
policy committee is, has access to the policy guide, and it's a brief recommendation, but like many of the other policies that are adopted, it is usually reflective of some sort of change into the administrative code. So here, they reference New Jersey Administrative Code 6A23A-5.2 to keep the language consistent between the administrative code and our board's policy, and that happens more often we would probably think in terms of our policies to be in line with similar intent of the policy, but to be more reflective of the wording that's being used from the legislature. So that's why Strauss Esme made that recommendation. It seemed perfectly reasonable and seems to accomplish the same thing. So that's why it's being included for consideration after the board policy committee reviewed it.
so that's just a concern of mine. Can we, the board, get the policy alert 235? Is there a way that we can all get that?
Certainly.
Thank you. Because I think that would be good. I think if we, when do you receive that alert?
The alerts
Who
come, the
received
alerts
the
come
alert?
out whenever the alerts come out. They
Right,
don't,
so
they
they
don't
go
come out on a
to-
regular basis. They
Right.
get enough that stack up and they come
Okay.
out to me.
And do they go to the administrator?
They come to my office, and then we schedule a policy committee meeting in
Okay.
close proximity to when they come out, and that has always traditionally been delegated to the policy committee, but
Right.
2 recommendations. Number 1, I can certainly share it with everyone.
Okay.
And number 2, I think that if you have specific questions like that, we can definitely roll up our sleeves even outside of the policy committee and take a look at those ahead of the board meetings.
Right, because this is just the first reading, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so, yeah, I just say that because there's 17 policies on here, so it's nice to have a little bit of, advance notice prep, so when we have these come out for our meeting minutes, I know we did get them earlier this year, this month, but I think it would be nice to be able to prep even further.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Any other comments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconer?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I wanted to make a comment on the 0155, that policy. We did vote for that, and I thank you for actually having that, but the changes were made to, instead of a timely fashion, it was changed to 72 hours for our meeting minutes whenever practical,
Correct.
correct? So for me, we wanted a more firm, timely fashion is whenever practical. To me, that's kind of very subjective.
So there will be times when 72 hours would not be possible if there was a meeting maybe on like a Thursday or we're trying to get the agenda to the board the next day. So it's not going to be practical necessarily to turn it around that quickly. So the committee, right, that we've delegated that power to, had that discussion.
Right.
And that was the recommendation of the committee unanimously.
But, I'm just saying, we have it, like, we've had a meeting, I know Melissa did the minutes, the one time we had the meeting the day before, and she had them to us the next day, so, for our meeting, so it's possible. But I just,
So,
the wording is vague
if
again.
there's
So
other
we went
wording
from
that-
timely fashion to making it a little more, concrete, and then adding those words, whenever practical, makes it a little subjective again. That's all, that's just my concern.
I appreciate that. If there's alternate language you'd like to suggest, I would recommend sending it to
Okay.
Mr.
I would
Kenny
love
as
to
the
sit
policy
and
committee
talk
chair,
about
but
that. Thank you.
thanks.
Ms. Falconer?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 15, Business and Finance, Mrs. Wilkie.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under Section A, Grants, item number 1, that the board approves the submission of the 24-25 Every Student Succeeds Act final report application. Under item 2, that the board accepts the revised 25-26 funding statement for services under Chapter 192-193. Item number 3, that the board approves the non-public project completion reports for the 24-25 school year. And item number 4, that the board accepts the PPG Industries STEM grant, Designing for Inclusion, student-created accessible crayons in the amount of $949. Under Section B, Finance, item number 1, that the board approves the staff mileage reimbursements. Under item 2, that the board approves the budget objectives for the 26-27 school year. Item 3, that the board approves the tentative budget calendar for the 26-27 school year. Under Section C, Operations, item number 1, that the board approves the comprehensive maintenance plan as outlined below. And under Section D, Contracts, that the board approves the following receiving tuition contracts for the 25-26 school year as outlined in the agenda. Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilkie. Ms. Falconero, can I have a motion to approve Section 15, Business and Finance, items A through D?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Eileen Blystein?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion approved. We have no other business tonight, so moving on to Section 17, public comment. All members of the public wishing to speak should raise their hand to indicate their wish to speak. When called upon, participants should state their first and last name and address for the record. In accordance with Cinnaminson Board of Education bylaws, comments will be limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person. The comment period will be limited to 30 minutes in duration. Pursuant to the Open Public Comment Meetings Act, the board will not publicly discuss or comment on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, or the attorney-client privilege. The board may choose not to respond to comments made by members of the public during this portion of the meeting. However, all comments will be given appropriate consideration. Matters requiring follow-up will be referred to the superintendent for resolution. Please be aware that all board employees retain the right of privacy and shall retain all rights against defamation and slander according to the laws of New Jersey. The board shall not be held liable for comments made by members of the public. And with that, is there anyone who wishes to speak on any matters?
Scott Nowicki, 830 Hilltop Road. Tonight, I want to share a simple timeline of my family's interaction with this board. Sometimes the clearest record of how a system treats families is how it responds when we reach out in good faith. In June of last year, right after our son's first IEP meeting, I wrote to Board President Laura Fitzwater. I introduced our family, explained that we came to the process with a positive, collaborative mindset, and asked for help understanding why so many parents were describing an adversarial special education process. I also asked to meet. I received no reply. Instead, my email was dismissively forwarded to administrators. No acknowledgement, no follow-up, no effort by the board's elected leader to engage directly. The message was simply pushed down the chain, not up to the full board for oversight where it belonged. Months passed. We continued trying to work collaboratively with the district, but nothing changed. By January 2025, I reached out again, this time to board members Michael Bromhall and John Meeker, explaining that 7 months later, the same problems persisted and that the district's leadership had ignored my earlier outreach. Both responded promptly, saying that they would discuss my concerns with the board president and superintendent, which I appreciated. But behind the scenes, those discussions had already begun, and not the way any parent would hope. The superintendent wrote to Mr. Meeker defending the board president, saying my assessment of her leadership was, quote, wholly out of line. And Ms. Fitzwater wrote to Mr. Meeker, quote, I saved the vast majority of my emails, and I have none from him. Even if I did receive one, I would not be the one to respond. That single sentence tells parents everything they need to know about how their voices are valued here. Even if she received a message from a concerned parent, she would not reply. A short time later, she sent another email to board members Ed Kenny and Christine Trompe with the subject line, quote, they are coming for me. She wrote, quote, Scott Nowicki is being coached to come for me on Tuesday. I doubt it will be a routine night. We may need to talk. Mr. Kenny replied, quote, okay, thanks for the heads up. I'm not sure who that is. And Ms. Fitzwater answered, quote, apparently he is in with the special ed people and wants more for that than he is getting for one of his kids. That was not governance. That was not leadership. That was a public official discussing a constituent with mockery and political calculation. It is important to note that these behind-the-scenes conversations did not include the full board. Only 5 of the 9 were part of these internal exchanges. The only 4 that responded to my outreach, the other 4 responded to my outreach with respect, professionalism, and genuine concern for the treatment of children with disabilities in this district. That distinction matters. It shows that the problem is not the entire board. It is a group of individuals who have allowed personal alliances and politics to outweigh public duty. True leadership does not happen in private group emails. It happens in the open, guided by ethics, transparency, and a shared commitment to every child in this community. I am deeply grateful to those members who have taken the time to listen, to ask questions, and to show that accountability is still possible in this district. This is not just about my family. It is about culture, about whether parents who raise legitimate concerns will be treated as partners or as adversaries. I'm asking the board tonight to reflect deeply on this timeline and ask yourselves, is this what accountability looks like? Is this what respect for families looks like? Because every time a parent writes and no one answers, or worse, is mocked for speaking up, it sends a message to every other family in this district. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking to be heard, to be respected, and to work together to ensure every child in Cinnaminson gets the education that the law and basic human decency guarantee them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nowicki. Anyone else?
They don't have faces when people are giving dirty looks up here when parents are talking. Actually, you know what? What? You should be disgusted. Brittany Relvis, you guys already know. I am disgusted. I'm not even shocked because I already know what we're dealing with. I am disgusted. You guys aren't even smart enough to use your own private server? People aren't stupid in this town. You wonder why board members' kids are making meme videos of other kids getting beat up. Gee, I don't know where it comes from. It must come from the top. You parents bullying. That's bull. They're coming for you? No, he's trying to get a fair education for his child. What is wrong with you? You should all be disgusted. And then the other thing I wanted to add, last time I checked, Ms. Trampay, you're not the board delegated speaker. You speak over top of people. I think you got to take that job hat off and put on volunteer hat. He's board president right there, superintendent. Let them answer the questions. You guys should all be ashamed of yourselves, seriously. I'm dealing with nonsense at the high school. I'm not even gonna bring it up because I promised my kid I wouldn't, and I'm gonna let that go and deal with it, okay? But you should all be ashamed of yourselves. You're disgusting. They're coming for me, watch out. I think they're being coached. What? I'm so sorry, like, I'm not even shocked because it doesn't surprise me. And thank you for those of you that decided to reach out to this poor father who just wants education for his child. I don't think he's asking for much. I stand up here almost every month. Last month, we sat through the NJSLA, and we're 6 points higher than most districts. How do you guys feel paying $11,000 in taxes when right down the street in Pensacola, we're only 6 points higher than them? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here, all right? But maybe some things need to change. Maybe things need to shake, because I don't know. Because most parents aren't like us that will come here and talk. But I'm gonna continue to speak up not only for myself, but for every other child, just like I did today with the high school. You are supposed to be representing the children. We talk about safety. Nothing has changed. The kids are still in trailers. They're still getting swipey keys. I'm gonna end on a positive note, okay? I'm gonna shout out to these principals over here, okay? For Mealy, hands down to you. Your newsletter is more informative than anybody else's. and I appreciate that. I appreciate them being transparent. I call, have an issue, they call and respond, and we figure it out. I send an email. By the way, what happened to our thank you for your comment at the board? That happened one time, Mr. Cabello. Where's my email after every time I speak? It's disgusting.
Any other members of the public wish to speak? Okay, moving on to comments from the board.
Hi, Yugita Frado, 1317 Broadwood Avenue. Thank you so much for letting me speak up here, and thank you for your time. Every time that you guys are here, we know you're putting in your time, and it's invaluable, and I appreciate you volunteering your time here. I do want to say just a few brief things on just a positive note about why I choose Cinnaminson. And I choose Cinnaminson for various reasons, but because I feel Cinnaminson is a community. When my husband and I were looking for somewhere to live, we chose Cinnaminson. One, yes, he grew up here, but we knew this is where we wanted to raise our kids. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the teachers and the staff here at Cinnaminson. And if you look back or look into the number of teachers that are here or staff members, they are from Cinnaminson. And they come back and they teach here because it's just such a great community, great sense of community. And I appreciate all of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Frado.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on to board comments. Mr. Kenny? Oh,
This isn't going to be bad. We moved here 4 years ago. We struggled with special ed, struggled with Miss Llewellyn. She's not here. I was going to say a couple things, but I'm going to save it when she's actually looking at me. We finally got our daughter into gen ed this year. It took us 4 years of fighting tooth and nail to get her into general education classes. Every one of our teachers in gen ed has been nothing but amazing. They collaborate, they reach out, there's communication. What is the stopping point of getting 4 years to be here? Why would it take us 4 years to be here? Because we were always told by certain people at our table that it was the teachers. It's not the teachers. The teachers are amazing. It is not the teachers. Stop telling parents those lies, that it is the teachers. It is not the teachers. Every single one of our daughter's teachers is beyond amazing. They reach out, they collaborate, they tell us what she needs help with, what she's amazing at, where her gaps, where her strengths are. We have not a single problem with a teacher, but we've been told for 4 years that it was the teachers. I wanted to put that out there. The teachers are not the problem. So maybe, you know what, hearing what Scott just read, am I one of the special ed parents too? Apparently I am, because I talk here every single month pretty much. So do I fall in that category? So when I hear no for my child, is that personal? I've always felt that way. So now I'm gonna ask it in open comment, like, is that personal? Am I that parent that just wants too much? Because I want my kid to succeed and I want her to have a future, and I refuse to have anybody rob her of that? My husband is sitting right there, he feels the same way. Nobody is gonna steal my kid's future because somebody feels it's a personal thing that I'm asking for too much. No parent is asking for too much. Never, no parent has ever come to the table and asked for too much. I can guarantee you that. They ask what their children deserve, to be part of their community, to be part of their peer group, to be part of their society, and to have a chance at a future, just like you give your kids. Mr. Kenny, that's your son at the end, correct? You want the best for him. I want the best for my kid too, and I'm not gonna stop at somebody telling me no because they don't feel like it, because that's what it comes across sometimes. It's you don't feel like it. Because every time I reach out to a teacher, it's never a no. It's always, you know what, let's sit down and figure it out. So maybe some food for thought going forward. Take a good hard look in the mirror and really, really ask yourself if this is the seat that you want to sit in, if that's what you write in an email. Have a wonderful night.
Tamara Beatty, 2091 Arbor Way in Bridgewater. And my name is Tamara Beatty, and I'm a high school special education teacher, and I am also the very proud president of the Cinnaminson Education Association, a role that I've had for the past 10 years. I've had the great privilege of working in this district for over 20 years, and one thing I have learned along the way is that strong schools do not just happen. They're built through teamwork, trust, and leadership by people who are invested and genuinely care about the outcome of our students. On behalf of our union members, I want to thank this board for the partnership that we have built. Your open-door approach, your willingness to listen, and your steady commitment to our students, even when the conversations are difficult, have helped make the Cinnaminson the outstanding district it is today. The success of our students is a shared goal. It belongs to everyone who shows up for our students every day, our teachers, our support staff, our administrators, families, and also our board members who continue to listen and learn and lead with their heart. The Cinnaminson School District is one of the reasons why people move to this town. And when I first started working here, I was told people moved to this town for the schools, but especially for the special education programs that we have. And that sentiment has not changed. It's only grown stronger as we have grown our programs to fit our growing population of learners. One particular program that is near and dear to my heart is the High Skills Study Skills program. This program is designed to provide individual assistance to our students with IEPs and 504 plans in a way that allows them to be included in all classes and succeed. What makes this program special is that our students stay assigned to us for their 4 years of high school. We get to know their learning style, we get to know what motivates them, and we get to develop, usually, an amazing working relationship with both the student and their parents. It's truly a special program that allows our students to grow and learn with support from a person who many times is referred to as school mom or dad. It's truly remarkable to be able to watch our students grow and achieve success by reaching whatever their goals are. I've had the privilege of working with multiple students through our program, and I stay in touch with many of my students to see them go on and be successful, and it is what keeps me driving 3 hours round trip to come to this district. This district truly provides opportunities that address the uniqueness and gifts that each of our students brings when they enter our classrooms. And I hope that the board recognizes this as well and will continue to provide the resources and support systems needed. As we look ahead, I also want to acknowledge that elections matter. The makeup of this board shapes the future of our schools and the success of all of our students. It's important that the board recognizes that we have a shared partnership as our goals are the same. As Mrs. Fratto said, approximately 1/3 of our staff are CHS graduates. They love Cinnaminson and they are coming back to work here. And my hope, and raise their families here. And my hope is that Cinnaminson continues to be led by people who are truly vested, people who listen to both the community and those who dedicate their lives to working in Cinnaminson, and understand that the decisions they make can have a positive or negative impact on the success of our students. I want to thank you to everyone. I want to thank everyone who's played a vital role in our district's success. The association had negotiated a 5-year deal with some of the members up here, several different ones, and it's one of the best in the contract.
I'm sorry, that's your time.
Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Okay, we're moving on to Mr. Kenny and board comments.
I will go. I just wanted to say thank you. Everyone emails or sends their comments to Mr. Kenny, but I just wanted to say thank you for everyone coming out and speaking, everyone who's here. We appreciate it. It's really important that the whole board hears every side so that we know what's going on, how people feel about us. It only will make us better. So we need to know the community's input, whether you're a teacher, you're a principal, you work here, or you're someone who lives in the town. We all live in this town, and we're here. We want what's best for our schools, what's best for our children. So I thank you so much, because it's really hard to get up there and talk sometimes. So we appreciate it, and thank you.
I also wanted to say thank you so much for getting up and speaking. I am listening. Just wanted you to know that.
Anybody else? Congratulations to Mr. Welcher and Mrs. Lowen for their induction into the Cinnaminson Educator Hall of Fame. Thank you to PPG Industries for the STEM grant for New Albany, and to the student reps for their great reports, and to everyone who spoke tonight. Thank you to all of our principals and assistant principals, as October is National Principal Month. And that's it. The next regularly scheduled meeting will take place on Tuesday, November 18th at 7 p.m. right here in the cafeteria. More information can be found on the district website. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kenny. We have no executive session tonight, so Ms. Eileen Blystein, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Trompe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, folks.